All right, cool. Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. Let's start off. So another committee meeting, old business, not on the agenda. Let's go right into new business. All right, let's review the regular April 17th, 2024, just tonight's regular meeting agenda. Anything of concern? Presentation?
Just a note, the work session ended around motion 12 or so, so we've added some additional ones, including the JCOG bid openings. The cityscape agreement is motion 14. The digital sign that we discussed is motion 15. This 1363 of 2024, that is related to Doherty property, which we had the condemnation a year ago almost, as well as an agreement for the purchase in lieu of. So we're getting that process moving as well. It's discussed before. June, I believe, was the closing date. We're able to accelerate that. So moving forward with that. In MS4 news, with our CEC folks, but we did get a approved and signed easement agreement for the Fish Run project by the Richies. Thank you for their cooperation. That's done. And then we have several additional ones. We do have the Insurance Defense Council lined up at 7:30 to call in to talk through the mutual general release of all claims. Laura will just ask you to leave at that point, but we're getting to that eventually. Motion 19. We received a letter, I think it might have been the day of the work session, but this is a small 3 townhouse development on Nicholson. Jonathan Coach, who I think I saw coming in, was the applicant for that one. It had been approved. There were some changes. It was reapproved. We had a development agreement drafted. He returned it signed, but did not put forward the construction bond. So we never signed off on it. And now there's a proposed assignment. So this one is a little different. We've done other ones where sort of like at the very beginning of the project, maybe after the approval vote, there's an assignment. Other ones, the development agreement's been signed, the security's in place. There might be one a little bit later in the process. I don't know if we ever had one sort of like this, but we've put the motion on. If the new purchasers are willing to get going, we'll reissue the development agreement in their name, update the construction cost estimate because it's been about a year or so. They'll need to post the security to be able to proceed. And as we said, it's only 3 townhomes in that area. So a large piece of infrastructure, a sidewalk is proposed, but no additional roads or anything else like that. We may, in terms of, I don't think we'll need another reapproval vote on the plan because 90 days have already gone by and the development agreement was not signed within 6 months. So we're still looking at that one. So you might see that motion next month if we determine that's where it is, or we'll address it all in the
basically the same.
yeah. Tim, any other details from the conversation otherwise?
Sure. Okay. I'm not sure that they, I'm not sure if they're gonna do that. We talking about,
Nicholson,
yeah.
White.
He wants the option to be able to do it. I'm not sure that the purchaser is gonna do that. He needs to stick in, which is going to grow, but. Oh, really?
And if it's a single family dwelling, no land development, no.
Yeah, so this will go away and we'll just issue a permit for a single family. And
Maybe have them.
so, as a purchaser, he just wants the option to do that, and I don't think that he's in a grand rush to develop either.
Are they here to present? This at the
Well, just going out and present, Jonathan's here because he's, just in case, he wants to answer any questions. This is simply changing their approval from Jonathan to the new owner. That's all it is, and we're in agreement. And that, what that, document says is that he's, fire is subject to all the previous conditions.
Yeah.
approved.
Too much of a chore. And then finally, resolution 1364. We talked several months ago about that one. That is the builder's lot on Royal Oak Drive, but also it's Royal Oak Court. Borough adopted and accepted about a year or so ago. There was a question of what the developer was going to do with that last lot. There were other interested purchasers. But they have agreed to donate it to us for a mere $680 for essentially drafting the deed, I think, probably. And
Yes, they're working.
yeah, so not a big lift. So because it is an acquisition of property, it's required under Borough Code to be put in a resolution. And so it's a resolution. Table. Further, fine, say it.
All right. Any questions? Okay, sounds good. So, on to manager's report discussion items.
No, it's,
Jeez. Sounds good. All right, on to report from council mayor.
We had a very productive meeting to investigate what we were going to do about preserving the trees and the tree canopy ordinance, Tim and Max and I. And we're hoping to deliver probably at our next session, something for you folks to consider. We have sent on a clean draft to the engineer because one of the things we're discussing is the fact that in our proposed ordinance for council to consider, the cost of determining whether or not the developer is complying with the new ordinance would be passed on to the developer by way of us having our engineer, whoever that may be, examine it. We want to see if we already have those resources available to our engineers, so they're already, working for us. So that's our case.
Would it be the actual fee or just a set of
I think it would be passed.
It would be a, yeah, reimbursement fee,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
other reviews of plans, traffic engineering, but it is a little more specialized.
Yeah.
Landscape architect.
We all agree that we don't know that there'd be anybody that would be available in either the volunteer committee or in council or anyplace else that could do this. So we need to make certain that what we're putting in place can actually be determined to be complied with once we put it into place.
I believe LSSE does have landscape plan.
So you're looking for probably draft for May first and
I
second.
think that, does that sound about right? Yeah,
It's like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. You're happy with, we'll get it.
Yeah.
Before.
yeah, we
That's good.
yeah.
Anything else, Frank?
That's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Laura? Nope. Eric? I'm good. All right.
I'm totally.
Tom?
I can't think of anything, but, nothing major, but I know we got some stormwater issues that are gonna be addressed over Cool Road next week, actually, the lining of that pipe. I did notice directly across from me, not on my side of the street, but, we have a part of the bank that's right next to the road that's slumping into the stream. And then about 100 yards up towards the bend, still on the opposite side, a big piece of the ground came down and was actually hanging over the curve of the road. No, I'm not talking massive, 10 foot, 5 foot, and a couple feet thick. Just a couple of these, one sliver came down, the other one was below the road and it went down into the stream. So, I don't know if it's gonna affect the stability of the road at some point in the future. I am concerned kind of like a little bit about the one that's across the street, because if it does wash out, it'll wash under the street. And, if you could lose that edge, almost directly across from my driveway, within about 15 feet or so. Might be something when Gary's out there next week with the guys doing the pipeline, maybe I'll just grab him and walk and die. I don't think it's anything we have to address immediately, but
That would be a good time.
he would, yeah, probably see the guys on Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days I'll be home. Maybe I'll just drag him down, just so he has it on the radar screen.
Sure.
These two things just really popped up with all this heavy rain. Really nothing else, I think. We're in good shape today, thank you.
Yeah, that's, they're looking at it before and later.
Right. It reads, do I take it from the fact that there weren't any manager discussion items about flooding or bad stuff that we did okay in this storm? as far
Yeah,
as-
I mean, we had a lot of debris washing out into the road and over the catch basins, but no reports of people getting water in their house.
We had about 6 hours with down in the basements on Thursday. Yeah, it was really bad in front of the middle school, which we've never seen before. I mean,
Oh, the middle
a foot of water. I mean, it's been,
I hear the water went over the western.
yeah, there was somebody up behind. They said they had about 5 feet in the backyard. They were concerned. The chief came over and, it didn't get into the house. There was a house on Nicholson that we were at for a few hours bailing out.
It's in our heights.
Thank you, sorry. Missing any others? Anything that we actually had to go? I know. How did your neighborhood hold up? We took a drive through there.
Yeah,
They're pretty wet.
It was wet, but nobody reported any flooding at all. The usual suspects, it was fine. So whatever work was done, it was fine, which is good, yeah.
Eric did receive a number of calls from
Mhm.
residents where, again, the water was coming off their neighbor's property. There's not a whole lot we can do about it.
No, and until people do what I think most people done is like put in their own French drains and try to take care of the water that's on their property. It's gonna find its way off to the lower properties unless somebody does something.
I know, I saw Jim Thurston and Huff, and he said Winthrop was pretty flooded. Did it hold up okay?
Those over the bridges, I mean,
Yeah.
we're flooded from the river to the river. So it's now, the field's recovered pretty
Yeah.
well, other than the soccer field. But that's the lowest field. But overall, for how much water came across, and it was rushing water across, it came around quite quickly. We were pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and that's pretty good.
And the athletic association stayed off for a few days. They were good about that. So overall, for how much was there, everything came out well. Well, the stream that goes behind our house that is fed by all the other water, that was not an issue at all. So not only is that stream full, but it also didn't overflow into the house. It was really good because it had to hold a lot of water.
There was definitely running water from Paul Krebs' house on that. Didn't see,
Yeah.
didn't see.
No, it wasn't threatening at all. It was, yeah, I went over there and by our stream. It did not even run over, like, so it was finding its way, not just down, but also it's finding its way, slowly into the dirt and soil and whatever French drains or whatever. So it was good.
Montgomery Road, there was no flooding in any of the houses.
Appreciate it. Just like three really quick things, couple of those are A-Lom, probably good sessions, I've asked for the smartphone decks, but they'll come soon. There was an item on cybersecurity and then a few other items too, so, when they come on, pass them along, and then, Diamond Lane, we talked about the last time. I did go during the storm to see how it's doing, it is working as intended, might have to like have further discussion on it, but like, it's good from what I showed you.
Yeah, for the portion that we did finish was functioning, but we need to go back in and finish the rest because, portion that we didn't line, that channel, a lot of dirt flew out of there and washed into the stone. We've already put in and also the area where we didn't make these, deeper washed across the road again and washed out a lot of the gravel on the private road. So, as soon as we get a break here, Gary's gonna have guys go out and finish that.
It's further up.
Further
Yeah,
up,
it's like-
just gonna make the whole thing.
It's close to the pond.
Okay.
But like towards the train at the end, I mean, you can see it going through probably
Yeah.
20, 30 miles per hour, so. Working is, that part's working as it's first month. I'm not talking about my nerves, so I reach out or anything, just like, left it.
Yeah, we let them know that, we're gonna proceed with the rest of the work after talking to the council and, homeowner let us know that they were sort of, just so we could make it as narrow and shallow as possible, of course.
No, ports on wide enough for anything in that one.
There was one item I wanted to bring up, within Spring Ridge, and I should have sent you the video last week. It is a 4 or 5 foot wide river that is split formed from the storm. I'm suspecting something is broken back there. It was just too deep to like go back there. I could bring your boats to you and take a look at it. Got the videos too as well.
Behind, on the.
If you go on Mystic Valley, there is a house that is a sports court up on the hill.
Yeah.
And then there's a corner lot. There are some trees that, I don't know who planted it, but both property owners have, and there seems to be some sort of in-between path to like go up. Somewhere back there, something is broken. This just seems incredibly excessive. So the road was like halfway flooded, but I mean, within like the next morning, if there wasn't an issue, but something must be already there. And then just one last thing, the Wi-Fi policy, so maybe I'll have to look for the next time. Just for everyone's benefit, I talked to Andy about our Wi-Fi policy, just looking through the cyber packet or whatever it is that he put together. So I'm not sure if anyone's looked at it. If you haven't, just please take a look at it so we can move on it. But in terms of a Wi-Fi policy, I know we have a guest Wi-Fi here for anybody to use, and you know that's great. That shouldn't change. The idea is not to change that, but we should have some sort of standard in terms of a authentication. It could be just a quick, put your email address, get a code, and they you can get on the network, or a text pin, something. A lot of places have that.
Your weather alert.
Yeah.
We're all getting.
My baseball line?
Go ahead.
As of now.
The high school is closed their.
That's okay. I'll be fine. So yeah, I think my recommendation is we do something because one way a cybersecurity sleuth can get through is on the guest network, use back doors. Just something for other.
You like even no verification better than self verification. Or you think you can-
Either's fine. Yeah, I mean, I've seen these like at the I haven't seen it in this area, but I've seen like the mall or something. You want to get on the guest Wi-Fi, or even like the yeah airport's a good example, right? You can choose either cell or email, depending on the coverage you have. Yeah, again, the idea is not to restrict access to, if there is an issue, we would be able to trace it. And if anything, that should bump up our cybersecurity score.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's all I had. Okay, so if there's something else, we can roll on an executive session. So we have time.
We have one, so everybody and Jim, 7:30 for the.
All right.